What's up guys, Kudou here. Today we're going to start catching up on my backlog a bit by talking about Dragon Ball Z FighterZ. Now for those who maybe don't know, Dragon Ball Z FighterZ is essentially what would have happened if Capcom had given a crap when they made the new Marvel vs. Capcom game. I'd like to go ahead and get my biggest, most obvious praise for this game out of the way. The game is absolutely gorgeous. This isn't anything new. You have eyes. You can clearly see what's going on right now. This game is probably the best looking anime-inspired game I think I've ever seen. I used to think that the Ninja Storm series had the best graphics in an anime-inspired game I've ever seen, but honestly, if they made a Naruto game that looked like this, it would look better than Ninja Storm. This is all opinion, of course, but I mean, come on, man. It's just glorious. Characters just ooze personality in everything they're doing, whether it be walking, dashing, attacking, or using a special. Ooh, so now that we got that out of the way, I want to talk about the hub system a bit. Let me just say that the hub system is ingenious and needs to be in every single fighting game from now on. If BlazBlue Cross Tag does not have this feature for some reason, I'm going to be very upset. The hub works so well not just because it gives you a nice visual representation of everything you can do in the game, and also shows you all of the other players in a sort of small, chibi, comedic way, but it also works to show you exactly who you're going to be playing with. In the past, the hub lobbies were like a mode that you could go into from the game, but here everybody is pushed into one, which you would think would be awful, but it actually makes a lot of sense. You join a lobby with a lot of people in it, and you see exactly who you're going to be playing with. And if you aren't getting good matches, or if you just don't like the lobby you're in, you just exit out, and you go into a new lobby, and this new lobby won't have the same players in it, so you can just get a fresh new set of a full lobby every single time you play. ArcSys forcing players to go into the lobbies actually makes it so that you can get an accurate reading of exactly how many people are playing at one time, and if people in your lobby are inactive or something, it gives you the best chances of getting out of that lobby and into a lobby where people are playing. And it's also effortless and cute. Mwah! It's just a great idea. Now, let's talk about probably the most important part of the game, the combat. Hardcore fighting game fans might be a bit disappointed with how simple the fighting system is, but honestly, you shouldn't be, and I'll explain why. The fighting system in this game is very simple. You have a light, medium, heavy, and special attack button, just like you do in BlazBlue. If you mash the square button, you'll get a light auto combo. If you mash the triangle button, you'll get an auto combo that finishes with a special. You can call in an assist pretty much any time that you want to, whether you're on the ground, in the middle of a special, or whether your opponent's in the middle of a special. Learning to use, predict, and punish each assist in the game is going to be what separates the great players from the truly great players. Being a Dragon Ball Z fighting game, some people might be worried that the characters might play a bit too samey and it might get a bit too repetitive playing some characters over and over again. You can breathe a sigh of relief because you are 90% wrong. To be completely honest, once you've picked up the basics and you've got them mastered, you can pretty much pick up any character you want to and do decently well with them. I'm not trying to put anybody down with this next statement, but execution is not as important in this game as game knowledge is. You're not going to be doing 360s, you're not going to be doing EX moves, you're not going to be doing complicated button strings like you are in BlazBlue and all kinds of other fighting games. Because everything in the game is so much easier to execute, the game is more about prediction and correctly timing when you're going to perform a combo. Every character has very similar combos when they're in the air, and it's very easy to learn when and how to follow up all of your attacks. So mastering the game isn't so much about you gaining the muscle memory to do a 30-hit combo consecutively, it's more about knowing when your opponent's going to come into you, timing yours and your opponent's assists, and knowing what each of your moves follows into so that you can do a simple combo and reset before you get punished back. I think this is why fighting game fans should ease off on how simplified the button combos are. The skill curve in the game isn't gone, it's just shifted a bit from muscle memory and execution to prediction and game knowledge. While we're on the subject of fighting against other players, let's go ahead and jump into the online. Now I'm going to give you guys a bit of a disclaimer here. I played online for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and I sucked, so you guys are going to have to watch me get my butt kicked for a while. ArcSys games haven't always had the best netcode, so is this game any good online? Yes. I'd say out of every 10 matches I played, 7 to 8 of them were really good. Sometimes I would get matches where the first round would be a bit laggy and I would have about half a second to a full second of delay on my moves, and then we'd go into the second round and things would be fine. There were, of course, 4 to 5 matches that were just completely unplayable because the people were just too far away. It was mainly people from, like, the UK or places outside of America connecting to American lobbies. I don't know for sure, but I do know that some of the matches I played were just flat out unplayable. Keep in mind, I don't have the greatest internet connection in the world. I just live in a place where the internet's not very good. But even me with my pretty lackluster internet was able to get silky smooth matches over half of the time, and I think that's acceptable. You can enter casual or ranked matches from the top of the map, and the cool thing is, while you're in a match, you can actually go into the training mode, or you can just wander around the lobby, do some shopping, do whatever, and the game will just inform you when you're ready for a match. So you're not just sitting there with something on the screen saying searching for opponent. You can play the game while you're waiting for a match and then jump into a match when that player is ready. You can also go to the arena in the middle of the lobby, and there you can pretty much just have little mini battles with other people in the lobby. If you're looking for something a bit more specific, you can also go set up your own mini lobby within the lobby and people can come and join it at will. You can also set limits to how many people can be in the room, what kind of players you're looking for, pretty much anything you need. You would think this might divide the player base a little bit more and make it a bit more exclusive because you're already in a room of like 50 to 60 players, and if people are splitting off to do their own little lobbies, that cuts it down even more, but honestly, I never had to wait more than 2 minutes for a match. You might say it's because the game is so new and that's why matches are so easy to get right now, but I don't think the player base is slowing down anytime soon. And even if it does, if you're finding that it takes you too long to get into a match, you leave the lobby, you find a new lobby, and it's probably going to be faster there. The ingenious thing about the lobby system is even if the player base does dwindle down to the last 50 to 60 players, you can see very clearly which lobby those 50 to 60 players are going to be in and always have time for a match. Have I said yet that I love the lobby system? Because I do love the lobby system. Last thing I'd like to talk about is the story mode. Honestly, I think the story mode is fine. I really don't know what people wanted out of the story mode. Of course you're going to be fighting the same characters over and over and over again. It's a story mode in a fighting game, and it's having you practice against each of the characters. I could understand if it was just a boring fight after fight after fight after fight, but what makes it interesting is in between the fights you get these great little story segments. If you happen to not know, if you make certain pairs of characters and you go into certain matches, you get these really great little scenes before each of the matches that just makes the entire story mode great. It encourages you to try out new characters, form new strategies, see what all of the assists in the game do, see what all the specials in the game do, because you never know what you're going to do to trigger another great little cutscene. That's not even getting into the climactic finishes. Oh my god, there's so much content. If the charm of the DBZ fan service really doesn't do it for you, then, I mean, that's fine, I guess. But people are talking about how lackluster it is, and that sort of implies that there was a better way they could have done it. You have a fight, you get a really cute DBZ scene, you switch up your characters, you have a fight, you get a really cute DBZ scene, and that's it. There's like no other way they could have done it. I think the one decent criticism that you could levy at it is the fact that it's a bit too long. They honestly could have cut the story mode by about half, and I think it actually would have been better for it. As it stands, it'll probably take you 20 to 25 hours to beat, but they could have very easily cut that down to about 11 to 12 hours, and I think it would have been even better. Really, the only other thing they possibly could have done with a fighting game story mode was take it out, and I don't see how the game would have been any better if the story mode had been taken out at all. If the story mode stuff really bothers you, there is an arcade mode you can also play, and you do need to play the arcade mode to get Goku Blue and Vegeta Blue, so that's something fun, I guess. The weird thing is nobody's complaining about the arcade mode, and it's exactly the same, except you don't get the cute DBZ moments in the middle of the fights. I mean, whatever, guys, to each their own, I suppose. I think this game's been out way too long for me to give it a worth it score, but I can still give it a regular score. Now, this is going to hurt my credibility a bit, because I keep giving all these games these high scores because I'm a big old softie, but I think this game really deserves this. I'm giving Dragon Ball Z the FighterZ a must-play 8 out of 10. It's not a fighting game for fighting game players. It's not an anime game for anime fans. It's not a DBZ game for DBZ fans. DBZ FighterZ is a good game, period, that everybody should at least try. And if you're not going to try it at least, then please, oh please, at least look up the story scenes on YouTube. There's like 10 hours of them, and I promise you, it is worth every single minute. Great job on this one, ArcSys, but fair warning, if you don't include Broly as one of the DLC characters, I am moving the score down to a 4 out of 10. You have been warned. Hey you, thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate it if you left me a like. They help the channel grow and let me know that you want more of this kind of content in the future. The channel is currently being supported by these lovely folks on Patreon. You guys rock! If you have any thoughts on the video, of course leave them in the comment section below along with suggestions on what I should do next, but also answer this question to prove that you made it to the end of the video, if you feel like it. And finally, if you found this video by accident, then subscribe to stay up to date on the latest Kudou news. You can also hit the notification bell. Ringing the little bell will let you know when I upload a new video. See you next time!